Welcome and thanks for joining me today. My name is Lynn and today I'm going to be making a gnome birthday card. I am so in love with gnomes. I know that my January projects had a lot of gnomes, but I'm just still very in love with them. So this time though, instead of stamping onto white and coloring, what I'll do is stamp onto some pattern paper and some solid color cardstock and die cut. So this is a really quick and easy way of building up your gnome because you don't have to do any coloring. So that's really nice. And I happen to have this set of, it's actually labeled as construction paper, but they come in really large sheets and in multiple skin tones. And so that's what I'm using for my gnomes' hair, nose, and hands. And so that makes for a really quick and easy color as well. So if you have a lot of neutrals in your cardstocks, that would work as well. And since the Build-A-Gnome also has a coordinating die set, I'm gonna go ahead and die cut all of this out, which is awesome. If I don't have to fussy cut, I definitely appreciate it. And I did smudge a little bit, since I'm stamping with VersaFine, I did smudge that first stamping of the body a little bit, so that's why I had to stamp it again. And if you are ever uncertain as to whether your ink has completely dried, you can always take a heat gun to it for a few seconds and dry it that way if you just want to be super careful. Or better still, if you want, you can while the ink is still wet, you can also put some clear embossing powder on it too and melt that clear embossing powder. And so that not only locks your ink in, but it also gives that nice enameled shiny finish too, if that's something that you want on your card. And I am going to use this cute little ice cream cone. It's from one of the Sweet Minis kit. I think it's from Mini Wishes, but I'll try to find it on the website and link to it in the description box below if you were curious to pick this one up. But it's really cute because it's got the ice cream cone, which I just picked out like a more yellowish skin tone from that same construction paper pad. And it's got your scoop of ice cream, and even has a cherry and some chocolate syrup, or any flavor syrup, I suppose, that you want. And the sentiment that I am stamping out is also from the same set. And so I'm gonna stamp it out a few times just so that I have some extras. So Sweet Birthday Wishes, I think, is so perfect and super cute. And I don't know what flavor ice cream is blue, but I wanted to use it because I'm using this background that I made ages ago. I just found it in my scraps, and I think I used some shimmer powders to create it, but it's got some really nice purples, some pinks, some blues, and so that's what I'm using as my color palette to build up the rest of my card. So that's why I picked the blue ice cream and this blue frame. I'll actually be making a shaker card out of this. So I've just got some clear acetate that I have attached to my frame element, and I'm just cutting around it. It doesn't have to be perfect so long as it's just smaller than the frame. And once I get all of that excess off, I'll attach a some foam to the back of this. Now I did use the same scalloped oval die to die cut out of my foam sheets, so I have exactly the right size of foam going all the way around. And so I'll go ahead and set that aside as I fussy cut the rest of this. Now I don't have the coordinating die set to go with this Sweet Minis stamp set, so I'm just gonna fussy cut it. It's not too terribly hard. This one was a little bit challenging, but otherwise everything else was fairly easy. And so I've got the the little syrup on top, and then or I guess sauce, maybe some sort of, not, maybe it's a white chocolate sauce on top of my ice cream, and then I'll put my cherry on top at the end as well. And I love the scale of this ice cream cone as compared to the rest of the gnome. It's almost her whole body, which I just think is so cute. So as per usual, when I assemble my gnomes, I like to try to get pieces into units, so to speak. That way I can work with larger pieces. So that's why I've already attached the hand to the ice cream cone, and I'm gonna tuck the other hand under her braid. And I like to use my Kalal 3D glue gel below the object that the gnome is holding, in this case the ice cream cone. That way it is further out from the body, so you get that dimension. And at the same time, if you do have to put this in the mail, that won't get crushed down, because once that glue gel dries, it's going to dry rock hard. You could use also foam, but I like the glue gel because you can really push it down as much or as little as you want to get it to the right height or distance from the body, and then at the same time it dries clear. So I just quickly cut out another piece of acetate. I just used the inside of the oval piece to do a rough cut of that acetate. It just needs to be a little bit larger so that it can attach to the frame. And that's how I like to create my shaker cards. I like to enclose them completely in acetate. I know it does use an extra piece of acetate, but I feel like for me, it's a lot easier to do that and then just be able to use this as a unit, like an element for my card, and then I can really go about positioning it however or wherever I'd like on my card. And so I'm gonna go ahead and I just cut a nice little angle off on the sentiment, and I'm gonna mat it onto some pink just to have a little bit more pink on this card. And then now I'll just go ahead and attach my gnome and my sentiment. I'm trying to get these extra elements to be level with the shaker, so that's why I'm just using that extra bit of foam that I die cut my shaker frame out of, because it perfectly sits around that scalloped edge. And so that's gonna be the piece that goes behind my gnome. I've got a couple of sections here that will pop up my sentiment, so that's all nice and level as well. And I think I have to cut just one more area right behind the hat to really get that nice and flush. I'm not aiming to cover 100% of the back of the gnome, but I do want to try to get as much of it flush as possible so that it, again, if when this goes through the mail, it doesn't get crushed. And for the portion that's going to cover or overlap with the frame, I just put some dotty tape runner and a little bit of liquid adhesive right on the frame itself. So this will be a nice and secure stick. And for my shaker mix, I used some of the winter sequin mix that came in the first quarter sweet kit, which I thought was perfect for the colors. And some of the confetti mix has sort of that aurora borealis effect, where if you tilt it in different sunlight, you get different colors, and it worked out perfectly with that background that I have. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing. And if you want to catch new videos as I publish them, please consider subscribing and ringing the notification bell. Thanks so much. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.